This is VOA News. Via remote, I'm Marissa Melton. Former U.S. officials responsible for securing the U.S. Capitol building testified Tuesday before Congress for the first time since the January 6th attack on the complex. They blamed intelligence for the failure to prevent what they characterized as an unexpected but planned and coordinated insurrection by supporters of former President Donald Trump. All three officials, former U.S. Capitol Police Chief Stephen Sund, former House Sergeant-at-Arms Paul Irving, and former Senate Sergeant-at-Arms Michael Stenger, resigned immediately after the attack, which left 5 people dead, including a Capitol police officer. At least 140 police officers were injured in the melee. The officials testified that while they had prepared for a large protest at the Capitol building and the possibility of violence, they had received no intelligence indicating that the pro-Trump crowd would attempt a breach and violent takeover of the seat of Congress. Sund blamed the House and Senate Sergeants-at-Arms for failing to act swiftly to approve his request for National Guard help before and during the riots. He said 2 days before the attack, Irving, the House Sergeant-at-Arms, expressed concern about the, quote, optics of having National Guard troops around the Capitol. Irving denied he was concerned about the visuals and said they reached a collective judgment that the intelligence did not warrant having troops at the Capitol. The 3 former officials said they did not receive an FBI report distributed on January 5th that warned law enforcement agencies about social media calls for violence the next day. The U.S. Senate confirmed President Joe Biden's pick for ambassador to the United Nations on Tuesday after objections from some Republicans delayed her appointment. Linda Thomas Greenfield was confirmed on a vote of 78 in favor to 20 against. You're listening to VOA News. Georgian police raided the main opposition party's headquarters Tuesday and arrested opposition leader Nika Melia. Authorities accused Melia, the head of the United National Movement Party, of organizing mass violence during anti-government protests in 2019. Melia says the charges are politically motivated. The U.S. Embassy in Georgia expressed concern about Melia's detention, saying in a statement Tuesday that Georgia, quote, has moved backward on its path toward becoming a stronger democracy. The country has seen rounds of protests since parliamentary elections in October. The political opposition says those elections were rigged. The ruling Georgian Dream Party says that's not true. Last week, Georgia's prime minister resigned and said his decision was linked to a disagreement about whether to detain Melia. At least 50 prisoners have died in 3 Ecuadorian prisons as a result of riots, according to local police. The riots erupted in the cities of Guayaquil, Cuenca, and Latacunga. Among Ecuador's roughly 38,000 inmates, confrontations among criminal groups often result in riots. In December, riots spanning several facilities caused 11 deaths. President Lenin Moreno has declared the national prison system in a state of emergency and ordered stepped-up security measures. Earlier in the day, the president said he had, quote, authorized the use of force in a progressive way to guarantee the safety of citizens in confinement. Concerned family members of inmates have reportedly gathered outside prisons seeking information. The president of the Democratic Republic of Congo, Felix Tshisekedi, is urging the Central African nation's investigative services to identify those responsible for the assassination on Monday of Italy's ambassador Luca Attanasio and 2 other people in an attack on a World Food Program convoy in the country. Late Monday, Tshisekedi condemned the deadly attack, which took place earlier in the day near Goma in North Kivu province. He said those involved must be brought to justice. The United Nations said Tuesday that civilian deaths and injuries in Afghanistan declined by 15% last year, but increased in the final 3 months after peace talks between the government and Taliban insurgents began in September. In its annual report documenting casualties, the UN Assistance Mission in Afghanistan, or UNAMA, said that instead of helping alleviate the scale of civilian harm, the so-called intra-Afghan peace negotiations led to an escalation of violence with disturbing consequences. UNAMA said civilian casualties increased by 45% in the fourth quarter of last year compared to 2019. Marissa Melton, VOA News.